Hello and welcome to the first video in my life coaching self-improvement series. There'll be some talk about confidence and law of attraction, all sorts of things that will dovetail together to bring your life into sharp focus and get you what you really want out of life. So today I want to just start with the concept of you're in charge, because without that then you're at the mercy of the elements, your circumstances, and so on. Now, it's a double-edged sword, this concept. People think that it's lovely to be in charge of their lives. I can control everything. On the other hand, they kind of go, yeah, but what about such and such or so-and-so? I don't make them like that. I wouldn't have wished this situation on myself. I'm not to blame, in other words. Now, there's a problem, because you can't have both sides of the fence. You've either got to be like, I'm responsible for all of it, and we'll talk about responsibility more in a moment, or I'm not responsible for any of it, and nothing is anything to do with me, and it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's very comfortable when things go wrong, but it doesn't give you any power or control to influence or change things. So during this series, I want to give you lots and lots of self-empowering tools, techniques, tips and ideas. Okay, so you'll really know you are in charge of your destiny, you are in charge of your life, and what we're aiming for here is that you'll be able to pull together all the elements you want in terms of your relationships, your health and well-being, physical, mental, emotional and spiritual, if you like, your finances, your economic life, your prosperity, your abundance. So all the things around money and career and living a fulfilling life, and of course relationships. Those, I think, four elements of anyone's life are what make life livable or bearable or unbearable. I guess most people have most things working more or less satisfactorily most of the time. And for a lot of people, there's like one area or maybe two areas that are slightly out of kilter, out of balance. Because if everything's going wrong all at once, then that can feel very terrible and terrifying. So lots of things to pull together. But the first concept to get your head around is whether or not you are responsible for it all, which is not the same as blame. And if so, what you can do about the stuff that you don't like, and secondly, how to bring together and make changes in the areas that are not working for you as well as you'd like. So first of all, let's look at the word responsible, because responsibility really could be broken down into two words: response and ability. Responsibility. It's your ability to respond. That's what the word comes from. Your ability to respond. In other words, one of the great powers that each of us has as human beings, and it's hugely overlooked, is the power to choose your thoughts. Now, that sounds like stating the obvious, and you know, when I was a child, my father and other men would joke to my mother and other women, it's a woman's right to change her mind. I don't know where that came from, but actually it's everyone's power to change their mind. That's massively important, the fact that you can choose to do that. Now, let me give you a quick example here that you can hopefully relate to. Have you ever had an experience where at the time it felt very uncomfortable or maybe embarrassing, and you said, or someone said, you know, one day we'll be able to look back on this and laugh? And one day you did. Now, what happened there? Because the event didn't change, but your reaction to it did. And what I say, and a lot of other people say too, is that facility, that ability is available to you anytime. You could have chosen that reaction, if you'd known how, at the time of the incident. Now, I'm not saying you should laugh about everything that's going wrong or doesn't work out in your life, but it's one option. You can be amused by things. You can be light-hearted about stuff that other people or at other times you've been heavy-duty about. I hope that's making sense. Okay, so the ability to choose your thoughts and choose what to think, when to think them, will massively change your life. Okay, massively. Because when you think a thought, what accompanies that, or what comes a split second later, it feels to us instantaneous, is an emotional reaction. So if, for example, you're worried about money, but you know payday's next week, some people, they run out of money a few days before payday and they panic. Another reaction is to go, well, it's a few days before payday, and it's fine. Some people laugh about it, some people just chunter on. So there's lots of ways of reacting to any given situation. There's no standard fixed thing. See, animals act on instinct. If you put a plate of food in front of a hungry dog or a hungry cat, they aren't going to go, actually, you know what, I've just got to finish the email I was sending and I'll eat that later. They have to eat it because their instinct tells them food is important, because if I don't eat the food now, maybe there won't be any more later. They still have that instinct from when they were wild animals. But we can choose. So use the ability. What this involves is becoming aware of your thoughts and your reactions. Becoming aware, mindfulness, okay? And we will be talking in a later video in this series about awareness and mindfulness. But just for now, take this as step one in your transformation, okay? The transformation of you and your life into anything you want. Choose a new reaction. Blame is not the same as responsibility. Taking the blame, it's not my fault. It doesn't matter about fault. Things aren't necessarily anybody's fault. It won't help you, even if you do figure out who's to blame. Because if you think it's somebody else, you can't change them. You have no power to change other people, and you certainly can't change the past. So whatever they did or didn't do, which in your opinion may or may not have caused you some distress, it won't make any difference you're thinking that way. What you can do now is choose a different reaction to it. Now, in the advanced series that's in the membership site, we'll be looking at various tools and ways that you can actually go about changing your reactions deliberately and on purpose, and we'll go through several scenarios and different situations that people commonly encounter, like relationship difficulties and financial difficulties and even health. So if you want to take a look at the membership area, you'll find as we go through that course lots of material about that. But whether you do or whether you don't, take it on board for now that you have the ability to choose your thoughts, and choosing your thoughts changes your emotional reaction. When you change your emotional reaction, your behavior changes accordingly. If you think someone's to blame for something, you might behave angrily towards them, you might bear a grudge towards them, you might never speak to them again, who knows? But those things are going to affect your relationship with them and actually you for the rest of your life. Buddha said holding a grudge against someone is like holding a burning coal in your hand, intending to throw it at them, but never actually doing so. Who's the one getting burned? It's you. So that isn't really going to help you. Taking responsibility for something means you can say to yourself, I don't have to think this way. If I thought about it differently, I could choose another reaction. And if you want examples of that, watch other people. Watch movies where there's scenarios you can relate to that have parallels. And watch how the characters react to each other. Watch comedies and see how people deal with frustrating situations there. You have the power to change your thoughts. Changing your thoughts changes your emotions. Changing your emotions changes your behavior. And your behavior shapes your destiny. Okay, that's video 1. I hope that's been useful and provoked some thoughts and ideas. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. This is Trevor Emden signing off for now. Thanks for watching.